In the dimly lit mess hall, the clatter of trays and low hum of conversations filled the air. Most soldiers were winding down, but for Petty Officer Maya, the day was far from over. Exhausted from a grueling training exercise, all she wanted was a quiet meal. But trouble, it seemed, had a way of finding her. As she sat down, a group of boisterous soldiers swaggered over to her table. Their leader, a burly sergeant named Rex, leaned over, his shadow casting a pall over her food. His smirk was laced with arrogance. "Well, well, what do we have here? A pretty little thing all by herself." "You lost, sweetheart." Maya looked up, her expression unreadable. She simply wanted to eat in peace. "I'm not lost, and I'm not your sweetheart," she replied, her voice calm but firm. Rex chuckled, a harsh, grating sound. His buddies joined in, their laughter echoing unpleasantly. "Ooh, she's got some fire," another one jeered. "Look, we're just trying to be friendly. A girl like you shouldn't be eating alone. Why don't you join us? We'll show you a good time." Maya's patience was wearing thin. The condescending tone, the leering gazicit, was a familiar, unwelcome dance. "Thanks for the offer, but I'm fine right here," she said, turning her attention back to her plate, hoping they'd take the hint. But Rex and his crew weren't the type to be easily dismissed. He slammed his hand on her table, rattling her tray. "Listen here, we're not asking. We're telling you. You're coming with us." His voice dropped to a menacing whisper. "We can make things very difficult for you around here. We could destroy your life. You wouldn't want that, would you?" The threat hung in the air, thick and suffocating. The few other soldiers in the mess hall either didn't notice or chose to ignore the confrontation. Maya was on her own. She slowly placed her fork down, the metallic click unnaturally loud in the sudden silence. She met Rex's gaze, her eyes cold as steel. "Destroy my life," she repeated softly, a flicker of something dangerous in her eyes. "That's a bold claim." A slow smile spread across her face, but it didn't reach her eyes. It was the smile of a predator sizing up its prey. The soldiers seemed taken aback by her sudden change in demeanor. The fear they expected to see was absent, replaced by an unnerving confidence. Rex, trying to regain control, puffed out his chest. "You think this is a joke? We run this base. You're just a nobody." She wasn't particularly tall, but she carried herself with an authority that seemed to suck the air out of the room. It was a blur of motion on, elbow strike to one man's solar plexus, a precise chop to the neck of another. They went down like sacks of potatoes, gasping for air. Rex stared in shock, his bravado evaporating. He swung a clumsy punch, but Maya sidestepped it effortlessly, grabbing his arm and using his momentum to twist him into an arm lock that brought him to his knees, howling in pain. The entire mess hall was now silent, all eyes on the scene. Just then, the door swung open, and in walked Captain Hayes, the base commander, flanked by 2 military police officers. He took in the scene 2 of his soldiers groaning on the floor, and a third held in a submission lock by a woman he recognized all too well. His face was a thundercloud. "Petty Officer Maya, what is the meaning of this?" Boom. One of his friends, still wheezing on the floor, noted weakly. But the captain wasn't buying it. He had seen this kind of behavior from Rex's group before. He turned his attention back to Maya. "And you are?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. He just wanted the others to hear it. "Petty Officer Maya, sir. Navy SEAL," she stated, her voice clear and strong. A collective gasp rippled through the mess hall. Captain Hayes's expression was grim. "Sergeant Rex, you and your men are under arrest for harassment and threatening a fellow service member. You'll be facing a court-martial." The military police hauled the disgraced soldiers to their feet and marched them out. Hayes then turned to Maya, his expression softening slightly. "Petty officer, my apologies for the behavior of my men. It will not happen again." Maya simply nodded. "Thank you, sir." She was no longer just some woman eating alone. She was a SEAL, a warrior who had effortlessly handled 3 men who outweighed her. She calmly sat back down at her table, picked up a fork, and resumed eating her now cold meal. But she wasn't alone anymore. One by one, other soldiers, men and women who had watched the whole thing unfold, came over, not to bother her, but to offer a quiet nod of respect, a word of thanks, or to simply sit at nearby tables, creating a silent, protective circle around her. They had mistaken her for a target, but she had shown them she was a shield. The mess hall was still a noisy place, but for Maya, it was finally peaceful. Her message had been delivered, not with threats, but with the quiet confidence and undeniable skill of a Navy SEAL. She had shown them that true strength isn't about intimidation. It's about the quiet courage to stand your ground. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content like this. We'll see you in the next video.